This is Tony for aminutetomidnight.com. As I think about the fear and panic that so many people seem to have right now about the coronavirus, and if it's not this one, it will be some future pandemic that will send people into fear, I'm reminded of how precious life is and yet how fleeting and fragile our time on this earth is. I want my eyes to be fixed on the eternal, not the temporal. None of us knows when our day or hour will come. But as the ocean has pounded rhythmically on the shore year after year for millennia, so it will do after we are gone. So it's important to enjoy our time here, to build memories and to enjoy God's wonderful creation, but at the same time to make our lives count for eternity. Chasing wealth or fleeting pleasures will leave us eventually spiritually destitute, but seeking first the kingdom of God and its righteousness will see the meaningful things added to us. It's so much more worthwhile than chasing the phantoms of material things and worldly possessions. But since we do live on this earth for our fleeting time, it's also good to enjoy nature that's all around us if we have eyes to see the beauty of God's creation. But with it there are trials and tribulations. In some of those we can survive much better and get through them if we're prepared and armed with some skills. So while fishing and campfires can be fun and relaxing, they can potentially be lifesavers in a crisis, a natural disaster or a man-made disaster. So I figured that making a video on this would serve the purposes of relaxing and enjoyment, but also to help show people what is possible. Leave aside the fear and anxiety of the what-ifs, but learn and practice some skills that could actually be useful if, for some reason, life as we know it, with its mod, cons and comforts, should be suddenly gone, and we find ourselves in nature, the elements, and a life more akin to past generations than today. Hope you will enjoy this video. So I headed down to a stony beach with Natalie and Andrew. The first thing I did while Andrew began fishing was to collect sticks and material to begin to build a fire. On this beach we're fortunate to have stones which make a perfect little circle to create the fire in. There are a number of ways that one can start a fire, but in this video I want to use my favourite method, which is a fire steel, a flint and steel. And there are many options for these that you can get, some cheaper than others. I'm going to use the one with the deer antler handle, which is my favourite amongst these. I'm also going to use cotton balls and Vaseline or petroleum jelly as fire starters. They actually work great. There is a bit of a knack to using a flint and steel. You have to get the angle and the speed of the strike right for it to work. It can take a few goes. This beach is stick heaven for the other member of our party who would love to chase them, and so many sticks to fetch. But it's also great for fire starting because there's a lot of dry wood and also dry grass, which makes good tinder. As you can see, building the fire is coming along quite nicely now. Back to the coronavirus for a minute. There's so much panic in many people's minds over this potential pandemic, and it's being fueled by the media as well. Really, there's nothing to be gained by panicking. but it is good to be prepared. But I also think it's good to be prepared for natural disasters and such like at all times anyway. Over the years I've seen a number of things being hyped into doomsday scenarios that then didn't turn out to be half as bad as the fear pushers made out. Whether this will turn out to be the same or whether this will be worse, only time will tell. But it's good to be prepared because we just don't know which or what will be the black swan event that triggers mass casualties or even a large-scale economic collapse. So it's just good to be prepared without panicking and without being in fear. So now our little campfire is really cranking. I'll just wait till it dies down a little bit and I can put the little grill on it which I brought with me, and then we can make ourselves a coffee. Well, actually it won't be just pure coffee. What I'm going to do tonight is make a blend of coffee and chicory coffee. And chicory has some good health benefits to it as well. It makes a good drink and I like it, and of course it's nice to have things which are healthy. The chicory coffee I'm using comes from a New Zealand company called Golden Fields, and it's made from roasted chicory roots, which is from the same family as dandelion, but it's a little sweeter. Chicory helps digestive functions, amongst other things. For those outside of New Zealand, I've also added some pictures here where you can see some other alternatives, particularly in America, that you could get already pre-mixed chicory and coffee. I'm using a French press or plunger and fair trade organic hummingbird coffee and mixing it with my chicory. The grill sits perfectly on the little fire stone circle which I created. The fire's going great, so it won't take long for the water to boil. You can mix chicory and coffee at whatever ratio you like. I've gone for around about 2 parts chicory to 1 part coffee in this particular case, and the water is now boiled, so I can pour it into the French press or plunger. We let the coffee blend steep and sit for a little bit, and then Natalie gets the job of doing the plunging and serving up the coffee. As you can see, it's got pretty dark by this stage. Kind of like the days we live in some ways, I guess. So it's good to trust in God and sometimes just to enjoy the simple things. Did you manage to catch anything tonight, Andrew?
No, I didn't catch anything. Still in the learning process.
It was fun though, wasn't it?
It was brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. Great coast.
What did you guys think of the chicory and coffee?
It was brilliant. It was awesome. Yep, tasted even better than last night's brew, so that was brilliant. And it was an amazing setting, sitting there by the sea, in the dark, with a fire, drinking perfect coffee.
Would you do it again, Andrew?
I'll do it in a heartbeat. Yes, I would. Yeah, fish or no fish.
So Tony, how did you find getting the fire lit on the beach tonight?
It was a little bit more difficult than I thought actually, but as soon as I got drier grass and wood further away from the actual ocean line, it made all the difference, and it was fine to get it going after that.